So yeah, hello everyone, hope you're doing well, hope you are enjoying your day. As you can see, I have my festive jumper on. We are in festive mode, Christmas is slowly coming upon us. But yeah, I know it's been a while, we are working on a few things with Pick Up the Controller. But yeah, we are back with another episode with another amazing guest speaker. We're talking about the world of gaming and everything that includes, so both the fun gaming parts, but also talking about gaming as a sector you might be interested in to get into a career. We've got another amazing guest speaker today, and instead of doing their introduction, I'd love for us to hear from them. So I'm going to hand over to our amazing guest speaker, Sheila. Thank you for coming on to the podcast today.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
You're very welcome. Could we know more about you and what you do?
Well, I work part-time at Microsoft and I handle the D&I and gaming. So I do presentations and I inform my team about the different diversity issues that happens in gaming. So I talk about the Asian representation, Black representation, and South American representation as well. And I also do some gaming, like tournaments at the place too.
Nice.
But on my spare time, because I do work part-time, I am a content creator, so I do gaming content. Type of games I do play are FPS and story-based. Story-based has come in really strong, like, because it's just how we all started playing games anyway. We all started with story. And that's really it, to be honest.
Okay, I'm gonna have to start big because this week, this Thursday, Video Game Awards. So I would like to ask you, I'm gonna get the list up because because I was just like, I actually I don't know what the nominees are for.
What, Game of the Year?
Yeah, Game of the Year.
I think it's Astrobot that's there, and even though I think it might win. Okay. I think Elden Ring dropped another DLC. Also, we did have that monkey.
Oh,
game.
Black Myth Wukong.
That's it. So that could actually win, but it depends. Actually, depends who's.
Yeah. So I've got the list here. Also, it's wild because I genuinely can't believe all these games came out. So you're right, Astrobot. Dono Balato, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Elder Tree, Final Fantasy Rebirth, and Metaphor.
Okay.
Out of those, actually, yeah, I want to ask you, out of those, who do you think's going to win? And then I've got a follow-up question.
I think I think Black Wukong's going to win. Okay. Because of the fan base. I haven't played the game myself, but I can see how, like, it's a good game. It looks visually nice, and anyone who plays it just was obsessed with it. Obviously, it's in the East, Eastern culture. They love, and that's where it came from anyways. So they loved the game, and once it came here, we also loved the game. So that's a very strong, that's a very strong position. But you know, Astrobot, you know, because of PlayStation, I think he'll be a tie. I think Black Wukong will win. I do.
Okay, that's fair.
Astrobot is fun though.
Yeah, it's really good. But my follow-up question is, so I saw this really interesting video by a content creator on Instagram, and they were saying they find it really interesting that for Game of the Year, you have Final Fantasy Rebirth, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which technically is a part of the remake of Final Fantasy VII. And then you've also got Elden Ring DLC. And they were saying it's really interesting because you've got a remake and a DLC being contended for Game of the Year.
I don't think that's right.
Okay, that was going to be my question.
Yeah,
why do you feel like that?
It's not a full game.
That's true.
It's not. It's cheating, actually. That's cheating. Game of the Year should be a game that hasn't existed, or if it has, it's like a completely new story, not a remake. You know, it's just or an extension. It's like putting Miles Morales as Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Wouldn't make that much. That's a DLC, isn't it? It's a DLC, right?
It was like like the Uncharted. I forgot what it's called, but the Uncharted. It's basically like a. Not like a story expansion, that's what they call it. So it wasn't like a full-fledged like DLC.
So that's basically like
the Elden Ring. Oh, what? Yeah, because Final Fantasy was like full-fledged, like big game. But the argument with Final Fantasy, people saying is like, this Final Fantasy, like this, everyone knows where the story's going. So there are parts that they're doing like a bit different because like you can look it up online. There's this whole thing about how Final Fantasy VII, and that's why it's now a trilogy instead of it being like one remake of a game, is it's changing the original ending. And it's like, yeah, because apparently that's why in the end of remake, there's those like angel, like those dark things that appear. Yeah, this is like I watched. I always shout him out, Rad Brad. I watched him play it. When he then tried to break it down, I had to then watch. He said he watched someone break it down. I had to watch someone explain his breakdown, and I was just like, yeah. At the end of it, I was just like, cool. I'm just gonna take it that. Just take it on the base level. It's going in a different direction. It's going to loop back. Apparently, there's this thing about timelines. I just thought this was a remake.
That's very confusing because how many Final Fantasy VIIs are there going to be?
Apparently, it's going to be 3, so this is going to be like a trilogy. But yeah, I was just like, wow, a trilogy of one game is, yeah. Anyways, on that great note, let's talk about your journey into the world of gaming. Because you mentioned that obviously you work at Microsoft, but you also game in your own personal time. So where did that come from? Were you always a gamer? Was it arcades? Was it online gaming? Was it watching, if you've got any siblings or like cousins playing games? Where did that passion for gaming come from?
I think the first time I ever saw a console was my cousin, and he was playing an NQ64. And I was like, what is that? And he was like, oh, it's the Nintendo. I was like, what? And I watched him play it. And I never thought too much of it. Then my dad bought the PS1, and we ended up playing that. So I've been a gamer since from young. From young, I've had every PS console and the handhelds. When it comes to my journey right now, I really pushed for content creation when lockdown happened. I feel like a lot of people went for their passion during lockdown. So I was like, you know, what's the harm? Let me get into it. So I started off with reaction videos of one of my favorite games, which is Apex. And I started streaming that. And then from there, people just really liked and engaged with my content. So I just kept doing it. Yeah,
that's really incredible. And that's great to see because I think, especially when it comes to like gaming, you know, like both through this, both I'm sure audience you can relate. There's always that like family element to gaming, like whether, like you said, like it's cousins. For me, it's my brother. I know for other people, it's like, you know, maybe. Like you said, like parents, but yeah, it's just that like element of gaming, and just like how gaming can just like bring people together and connect.
Literally, yes.
Yeah, because it's just like, I think it's like what people say, like gaming as a medium is something, like obviously you've got TV and film and books that can like immerse you in the world, and that's not to say like send shots at any writers, please don't come for me. But it's to say as well, like you said, that like gaming puts you, like you are physically in a world. And whether that's just like you said, like it's an FPS, like Apex or COD, or if it's like a story-driven game like God of War or Halo, like these are games where like you are put into this world. And yeah, I've always like, we'll talk about like favorite games and stuff like that, but that's why I've always loved gaming, because especially like with story-based games, the ones where like your decisions can like impact the
those are
whole
one
world.
of the best games.
Yeah.
They're very sad, but those are the best games. Honestly, like you were saying, like immersing yourself in games is just, it's amazing, you know. I used to do that with anime, but I always knew I'd love games no matter what, because there's so many games out there that could like change your perspective on life. Like the other day, I played Whatever Happened to Edith Finch.
Yeah,
or Edith Finch. Oh my gosh, I can't say the name.
I think you're right the first time. Edith Finch. Yeah.
Wow. it's like some guy said it's his favorite game. I was like, damn, okay, well. But no, it's just amazing how some stories can just be, you know, like created visually. You know, it's nice to read a book. I think reading a book is one of the best way to visualize something and immerse yourself. But watching the story, playing the character, hearing the music, like all of that. So nice. This is so nice, yeah.
That's incredible. We're going to go on to the next question.
Okay.
I'm going to throw spanner in the works, because this is a tough question. What is your favourite game? If you can't do one, because I find it hard to do one, you can do a top 3.
It's true, you're like me. there's so many good things out there to pick one. Top 3.
You can't do it.
But I can say my top ones. Top. So like 5.
Okay, we can do 5. We can do 5.
I'll try. Okay. All right. Sonic Adventure 2.
Okay.
I really love The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Love that one. Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness. And I think that's it. So it's 3. There we go.
3. Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Oh, but okay, those are older games. The newer games, Last of Us 2, incredible. I prefer that than the first. And I think, to be honest, maybe Apex, but that's different. Like a story-based game, Last of Us 2.
Last of Us 2. That's fair.
Yeah, it's a good game.
That's really like I know. The first time that I saw the story for that, I was just like, oh yeah, man. Like in the first hour, you're just like, oh, this game's really it's taking itself like, not even like The Last of Us, the first one isn't serious, but like I think what people said is the shocking moment for the first game really came at the end. And I don't think I need to put like a spoiler warning.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I was like, the TV shows come out, the games went out for ages, but like when Joel like basically like kills everyone.
Okay, spoiler alert. That's okay. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
But yeah, when Joel kills everyone in the hospital, like there were shocking parts of that game, but you're just like, it's a zombie game. Like there will be like heavy moments.
It's the lie.
But yeah, the first, I think people were saying like the first hour, and then the way the game was marketed, so it made it seem like Joel was going to be like
there forever.
And just like, oh yeah, it's going to be Joel and Ellie again.
So shocking. Oh my gosh. No, when that happened, unlucky for me, I kind of got spoiled just before I saw it. So I pretended like, I was like, that's not true. So when I played it, like 10 minutes in, he dies. I was like, oh wow. I think that was very... It's sad, but it's deserving.
And I feel like you said, like it's like especially with how the first game ended, and that's why people liked the first game of the like clear twist and like the growth of both, I guess, Joel and Ellie within that story. But yeah, I think to sort of like up the ante and like build a second game that people aren't just like it's the same formula, but you're just doing like they're just older. It's like no. We're changing up the whole game. We're going to make you... And I think that's one of the things that I liked it, because I've always said, like, a good story is one where there isn't, like, a good and bad person. It's just, like, two people have been affected by stuff, and you've got the protagonist that maybe you can relate to, or the antagonist that you can relate to, and you feel you understand where they're both coming from, and you're just, like, if things were better, you probably both wouldn't argue with each other, you might both get along. So for me personally, I just feel like that was really good, because they made you feel like, they made people feel like, oh my gosh, like, Abby, I don't like her.
I like Abby.
She's the one.
I like Abby. Like, she is so strong. I like Abby, and I stand with her.
Okay.
Ellie should have died. I'm sorry. She should have died time ago. And then she lost her baby mum. She lost everything in the end.
That's true.
She lost everything. Like that part at the end was like, what was the point? What was the point? It wasn't worth it. You lost the girl you loved. The baby's gone. Now you just have a house.
I'm looking forward. I know it's been a minute since we've seen something from Naughty Dog, but I am looking forward to if we are going to get a part 3.
They could, but how would they do that?
I don't know, because I feel like I don't know where you would go next, because obviously, like, they've sort of, like, wrapped up the bits of the first game. So I'd either feel like, similar to, like, the Telltale Walking Dead games, like, it'd either...
Wait. I haven't played that.
Okay.
And it's on my list to play.
I would say those are amazing.
Okay.
I like that with each season, you're playing as, like, someone else, and... There is like a central character within those 4 seasons that you like is appearing or like you play as for like 2 of the 4 games. But for me personally, it's like what I said, like you see the impact of the characters and your decisions throughout that game. And arguably like I know, so yeah, like I mentioned, Brad, great gamer. If you like someone if you like watching people play games, he's like amazing at it. But I know he said like that first season like impacted him so much that he named his daughter after one of the characters, Clementine.
Really?
Yeah, because he was just like, oh no, like this. To him, that's one of his favorite games of all time. So I'd recommend that. But what I was gonna say is, I do like the different character in every like season, but you still see like other characters. So it's not like, like, don't worry about like the past game. Like the past game has no relevance to what's happened. It's like, no, sometimes people come up or like there'll be comments.
Background characters matters. I like that. I like when they do character development for background characters where you see, I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's in The Walking Dead?
Yeah, so I would say like I recommend, because it's interesting because they did do like 2 sort of like spin-off Telltale games within The Walking Dead. So they're not really directly relevant, but one was, I think it was called like 400 Days, which was just like between, I think either the first and second season or the second and third. It's like random pop-up stories that like some of the characters that were in the main games appear or are mentioned, but it's just some side stuff. And then they did one on, I think her name's, what is her name? I know the actress is in Black Panther, she plays Okoye, but her character in The Walking Dead, she had her own like 3-episode thing. I've also said, on a separate note, like I know we're just getting into gaming and we do have questions obviously to ask you, but I've said that Telltale, I've loved Telltale story game.
That's your favourite game? Yeah, what is your favourite game?
Yeah, like I said, I can't do a top 1. I can do a top 2. Top... Well, even that's tough,
Yeah. Have you ever played Sonic Adventure 2?
I think I have, but it was a while ago.
Okay.
It was a while ago. I think the one that I always shout out is Mass Effect. Yeah, you see what I mean? Because I've said that to me, similar to Walking Dead, but I think it's just because like with The Walking Dead... Oh yeah. But it's the big. Wait, have you ever played Mass Effect?
I was going to buy the whole full collection for £4 and I missed it on Steam, so I'm waiting for Christmas. Now I'm so gutted. I don't know why I just didn't buy £4.
It's okay. I would say it is an amazing series. To me personally, of a trilogy of like the 4th game. Like, it's not necessarily a mainline game. It was Mass Effect Andromeda. It's kind of like I tell people play it. I played it when it came out. It was buggy, did have a few issues. There is a lot of repetitive nature, but the story isn't, it's not like the story's bad, and I think a lot of people have given it like the benefit of the doubt now and looking back and saying, hey, look, like the game isn't perfect, but like, it's not the worst game ever. Like, it's got a storyline. It is enjoyable. Like, yes, there are moments where it's not great, but the original trilogy and the Legendary Edition just like ups, like the graphics look amazing. I've told people it's an amazing game. It does, combat-wise, it does take a bit getting used to because it's not like so dated in its combat that like you wouldn't enjoy it, but it does, like, especially, I think the first game got like the biggest upgrade because the first game I think came out in the early 2000s. So that one graphically is like completely different. The controls were updated to match the second and third game, but a game where your story choices matter, and it's not just in that game, it's in future games. The fact that like you said about like background characters, there's so many like side characters that you see throughout the game. A lot of them are like memed to the like ends of the earth. There's a reporter that like interviews you. She's in all 3 games. Like, it's not really a main game spoiler, but like you have the option to either be like super, so you can be, they have like, so typical with like decision-based games, you can either be I think it's a Paragon, which is like, you're really good, you're the nice person, really great, or you can be a Renegade, which is like the bad guy. The Renegade option is like, you're rude to her, you're like rude to your like, you're kind of blunt with your crewmates.
Damn.
You don't take, like, you're sort of like, you're not necessarily, like, people don't hate you, but you're more of like the typical like, the guy that's like he doesn't take rubbish. He's like business only, no compassion. He's like, I got to get the job done by any means necessary.
Okay.
So there are options like in certain like missions where your character's just like, he could negotiate with people, or like he could ease tensions down, or like do good things, save people, and then he has the option to just be like, nah, I'm just gonna forget that and just like do whatever I want, like let certain people die, and you don't really get flack for it because your character's got this like, so your character's a Spectre that basically sort of means that like, it's almost like being like it's sort of like Black Ops. So you're like given a check to like, as long as you get the job done, like the galaxy is fine with you to an extent doing what you do. But yeah, as a game, it's just like you see the development of all your companions, your characters, and the third game, I think my brother and I both agreed that the only DLC that we've said is better is The Witcher 3. Also, I technically should
I'd like to play that.
recommend. It's great. The story expansion that they have for it is one of the like best story expansions.
Can I play Witcher 3 before? Does it matter?
I'd say not really. They give like I've never played 2, but my brother did. The 3 is the best. They do like a summary. And I don't think any of your choices, like I might be wrong on this, but like I don't think your choices like transfer to the third game. But I've played the third game. I haven't finished it yet, but like the third game is amazing. My brother's finished it. He loved it. The story expansions for it, great. It's like one of the best. It really like fleshes out the story and it's not like a throwaway thing.
I think Mass Effect's your favorite game.
Yeah, Mass Effect definitely. Like
it's like your favorite.
I think
That's the favorite game.
Because they do in the third game, it'll be in the Legendary Edition. They have an expansion called it's called the Citadel expansion. It's like, especially because Mass Effect 3 at the time when it came out, like had a lot of flack for its ending, and like I won't spoil it, but like the ending was a bit lackluster when it came out. I'll say that. So they released the Citadel DLC afterwards, and like for a lot of people, they say the Citadel DLC, even though it happened, yeah, because it happened sort of like it's based before the game ends. So it's one of those things where like it doesn't really impact the ending, but it's like a nice to everyone who's played the game. It's like a nice send off for like all your companions and all your stuff, like the journey that you've played with these characters over like years, it's a nice like round-up way. So for a lot of people, they'll finish the main game, then they'll go back, do the DLC, and that's how they play it, because it's just like, oh, if I'm gonna put this game down, not play it again for a while, I wanna play this, it's like a nice way to like wrap everything up. So yeah, so I'd say Mass Effect, funnily enough, like it's new, and I know not a lot of people would agree with this. And I was even going to ask you about your favorite SPS, but
SPS.
FPS. Sorry, yeah. But I personally loved the Black Ops 6 campaign.
I haven't played it yet. I've got it.
It is really good.
Really?
Yeah. It's not as short as Modern Warfare 3.
I actually liked Modern.
You liked Modern Warfare 3?
I liked Modern.
I liked it. I just felt like it was a bit. It ended. I felt like it could have gone on for longer.
I don't even remember it. I don't remember any of the campaign, but I know I've played it.
Yeah, I would say, like it is. It's not too long, so I think it's about maybe like 6 or 7 hours. I think, but like I like it for 2 reasons. One, for some of the mission, like I like how now COD is accepting the like do the mission how you want. So like some missions are like. You just run through a map, you do the activities. Some of them are like an open sandbox, so like similar to like Warzone. It's like you explore the map, you've got an objective, but you can like explore additional stuff. Oh, and then some of the missions are like, you've got like a task to do.
Okay.
And this game balances like the rest of your party. So there's one mission where you play as like everyone who's in your like, in the Black Ops like crew. So you're like switching between like different people and it's really fun. But yeah, I just like I found out about it before I played it, but there is like an element where they bring in, I don't want to give it away, but they bring in some of the other stuff that's associated with like Black Ops into the campaign. And the way they do it, some people didn't like, some people like, but I was always just like, Black Ops has always been about like, it's always been about like the mind. So if you go back to the first one, like the whole thing with the numbers and like how Mason was seeing stuff that wasn't there, I was just like, that's always been like Black Ops. So yeah, so I would say recency bias, but like, yeah, Black Ops 6, finished the campaign, loved it. Yeah, I'll probably say like Mass Effect is my favorite game of all time. Yeah, you know, if I have to do a top 3, Mass Effect, Baldur's Gate 3. I'm still yet to finish that. But Baldur's Gate 3.
What about, you don't like Dragon Age Veil something.
I haven't. I have started playing that. I enjoy it. It is good. I do have some comments on like how it's one of those ones where the game was designed. They had this engine called the Keep, which would let you like. So if you never played or owned the original, like, so for the last game they did 10 years ago called Inquisition, if you didn't have the Dragon Age 1 or 2, you could basically like. They had this thing called the Keep, and they do it for Mass Effect as well. I forgot what it's called for Mass Effect, but it's basically like almost like a storybook. So if you never played the previous games, you have this thing where you just basically like, it will be like your characters remembering what's happened, or someone will be telling a story, and then when key story moments happen, you in that moment can decide like, my character would have done this if I played the game. So yeah, so it was like a nice like element.
That's very good.
Yeah,
That's interesting. I've never come across that.
Yeah, it's like so in Dragon Age it's called the Keep, and yeah, I'd never played the first 2 Dragon Age games, but like when I went to the Inquisition, you could just basically like be like, oh yeah, so my character like did this meant my character survived this event, or like my character killed this person, my character like all things. So big story decisions, who you romanced, what you did at the end of the game. So like for some of these games, you were leading an organization. It was just like, do you disband it? All of this stuff. With the Veil Guard, they mentioned it before it happened, but they were just like, oh yeah, your character, you're gonna have to create, they sort of like, I don't want to say forgot, but like they mentioned that you won't be able to import your like decisions from the Keep into the game. So for a lot of people, they were upset because they were just like, I've created like these characters and I've like made these key decisions. I wanted to see it reflected in this game. And that's not to say that you can't do that. So at the start of this game, once you've created your character, it will ask you, okay, the characters from the previous game, redesign them, and then these are like some key decisions on like, I think it's like 3 key decisions on like what happened in the last game, and you then like create it. So it's like who you romance, the person who's not necessarily the primary antagonist, but like one of the bad guys for the Veil Guard, like, have you decided you're gonna kill him, or did your character in the last game say he's gonna like try and like make him to see the error of his ways? And then the third one was the organization that you run. Do you give it over to join a bigger organization, or do you just disband it once you guys finished, like save the world in the last game? But yeah, it was basically like a lot of people upset because that carryover didn't happen. So I was just like, I can get it. The game I personally like, the combat's fun, like the characters are good. I think for a lot of people it's a return to like the original BioWare. But yeah, I would say, yeah, Dragon Age, my brothers are more like, played Dragon Age like before I did, so I started with Mass Effect, so that's why Mass Effect's got a special place in my heart. But yeah, Mass Effect, I think Baldur's Gate 3, and then maybe the last game. I've got to pick another. What's the? I need to think about. Would I say it's my favorite game? I don't know, you know.
You said Black Ops 6 already?
Yeah, I'll say Black Ops 6, but I feel like that's a recency one. I feel like I could probably come up. I'll put it out there.
You like it.
Actually, no, you know what? I'm gonna swap Black Ops 6 with Battlefield 1.
Wow.
That's Black Ops 6 is like close, but I think Battlefield 1 I really liked because especially like I mainly play like FPSs mainly for the campaign, and we will get into why a bit later. But like for me personally, I really loved the like the way the campaign was addressed. So it wasn't that you were playing just like a story that had been written, but it was like stories. Some of them were like stories of like, I don't necessarily know if it was of the development team, but they were people's like grandparents who fought in World War I and their own stories, or like they were talking about things that like people had experienced. So like one of the characters you played as in Battlefield 1 was, I don't remember where they were from in Africa, but you play as like African soldiers that were helping the French in World War I, and they were expecting to be like treated like amazingly, and like, you know, they've contributed so that their work would be recognized. And then it was basically like they cleared, so they were told like, oh, we can't clear this area. They went in, they cleared this area, your character's like companion, like his friends die, all of this stuff, and then they're basically like in the history books, it didn't mention them. So for me, it was interesting to see like these are either stories based off of like true historical events that like took place. So it might not necessarily be the character you're playing as is a real person, but you're just like, oh, he might not be real, but this was something that happened. But yeah, it was just like that, like cultural, like it was just interesting to see like different parts. And then I did like in Battlefield 5, they showed like different sides of like World War II.
That's the latest one, right?
Yeah.
I did not like that one.
Wait, Battlefield 5 or 4, because did the multiplayer, the 40.
multiplayer.
That one, I did the beta. I was not. I was like, I understand the concept, but the game. Yeah, no. I've always said it's like when COD did, like for Black Ops 4, when there was no campaign and like it was just like multiplayer, and that was when like Warzone was starting out and all this stuff. I was just like. COD, I was like, personally, I've always said, I love COD for the campaign. Like, it's the different ones, so like Modern Warfare, Black Ops, when they did World War II, like all of this stuff, there's always like engaging and like different aspects. So like I said, Black Ops has always been there's been like a psychological element to warfare. With Modern Warfare, it's more about like the shock and horror that like sometimes Modern Warfare can have. And yeah, like with the World War II ones, it was mainly about like what happened in World War II. But I think for me, it was just like when they did Black Ops 4, no campaign, it was just like multiplayer, zombies, and then basically what eventually turned into Warzone. I was just like, yeah, man, like, I was like, everyone loves COD for the campaign. Like, why, like, that's
I wonder why they did that.
Yeah. But yeah, so... I like the tangent. But yeah, thank you for,
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to see why I like my ones.
Go ahead.
So I love Sonic Adventure 2 simply because I love Sonic.
Okay.
That guy's my best friend.
Okay.
He's my best friend. I love the story. I love the music that they have in the game. I love the fact that you can play good side and you can play the bad side, and then you can play them both together because that's a big, long, big-ass story. Love that. And then I loved Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness because of the style. It was the first time that I played a game where there was a female lead, and she was just really badass, and I just loved it. And then after that, I just kept playing all the other Tomb Raider series. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess was one of my first JRPG? I can say JRPG, yeah. One of the first JRPGs I have ever played in my life, and it took me by surprise. That is why I love it so much, because I didn't expect how much I would love the Zelda series. And it was the first Zelda game I played. So the music, Link, the whole Midna as well. Midna, you know who Midna is? When I first saw Midna, I was like, wow. I cried at the end of that game because I finished it. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to play the game again. I remember I finished it, the credits were going and I was just crying. I was like, that was so good. So I'm going to play that again. It's been years, I forgot how everything went. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does this mean you're going to watch Sonic 3?
Wait, did I? And then, I said Last of Us as well. Surprisingly, I don't like the Sonic movies.
Really?
I don't like the people.
Okay.
I like Sonic.
Okay.
I don't like the people.
The
people are just, I don't care. If you're getting married or your house is, I don't care. I like Eggman and the henchmen and Sonic and his friends. Even I just don't care about the humans.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's why I'm not that excited about it.
Okay.
Because,
That's fair. That's fair. I was gonna say because obviously like Shadow's gonna be in the game, voiced by Keanu Reeves.
They always put him in something and it becomes fire. Like Keanu is just something else. We love Keanu.
Also, so based on that, you actually made it. I'm a swap. Sorry, you remind me of my list. I'm swapping out. This is why I can't do lists. I'm swapping out. Battlefield, I'm putting Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was amazing.
You see, I feel like had they just taken their time, swallowed up, because obviously they kept promising dates and stuff. Had they just said, I'm so sorry, one more time, they would have never had the backlash. I've never seen a game receive a backlash like that. I thought Concord was bad, but I think Cyberpunk is still bad to the point where people ask for refunds. And then they stop selling the game. Oh gosh.
I do think and we will talk about not gaming moments, but games that have it took time for it to get back. Because I know people say No Man's Sky is another example. A lot of the things that were promised at launch, it wasn't there, and then No Man's Sky had to go through a whole revamp, and eventually got to where it is now, where a lot of people say No Man's Sky is a great game, it's cool to explore. With Cyberpunk, it was the same thing. But yeah, no, for me personally, I played Cyberpunk at launch, and I didn't have the old generation Xbox. I had the current one that's out. So for me, it wasn't as buggy as I know for people who had previous generations it was. but yeah, there's something about that story that I was just like, you're like, I don't know, like I think now, like the way that they sort of like redeveloped it, they launched an update with what was it called? Not Liberty City. Oh, it's gonna annoy me. Damn, so I gotta look this up because it's gonna Cyberpunk DLC Phantom Liberty. Yeah, there we go. Because that story expansion, like I know there were. Or people thought there would be like more DLC, and I think, like you said, because of like how the game went and like the launch wasn't great, all of this stuff, it meant that they just couldn't do all the like expansions that they probably were hoping to do. But for me, that expansion was really great. Like Idris Elba being in it was like a huge twist. His character is amazing. Keanu Reeves in the base game and in this, really great. And yeah, I think that's like really interesting to just see that like. Yeah, for me it was just interesting to see that change. But then also, it's funny that you mentioned anime, because I think now anime and gaming, like not to say it wasn't before, but anime and gaming seem to be like, there's more of like a link between the two, and like they're more like bringing together those two groups of people.
You're bringing the nerds.
Yeah.
Nerds.
Because even like with Cyberpunk, like they released the Cyberpunk Edge Runners anime, which was like...
Yes. I haven't watched that yet.
I recommend. It is... It's not like
there was a scene the first scene where there was just some weird thing. I was like, I don't have to watch this.
But I will say that
I will give it a go.
Yeah, like it is. Like I think it's because like most of the anime I watch, it's never like doom and gloom. So for me, I was just like, oh, like things aren't great, but it will surely turn around. And then when it didn't really, I was like. Damn. Okay. But it was good. Like a lot of people say, like there were a lot of people that didn't know Cyberpunk that watched it, and like they're anime fans watched it and just loved it.
Oh, is there a question about animation adaptation?
We can. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Arcane. Arcane is. Have you watched it?
I have not.
Do you like Attack on Titan?
I do. I don't mind Attack on Titan, but I've heard I've heard the hype for Arcane that I was just like, I do want to watch it. But it's funny that you bring up Arcane because a lot of people say, I guess like with Cyberpunk, so someone also mentioned, like I saw this on Instagram, that someone was saying they find Arcane really interesting because they said, you've got Cyberpunk Edge Runners or like other anime games that have animes where like I know Lara Croft got like an animated film on Netflix, which I heard was
I was never excited for that. People are like, I was never excited. What I want is a new game. I don't keep your animation. I want a new Lara Croft game. I don't want a remake of the old ones. Okay, That's what I want.
Yeah. But they were saying that like with that, like with some of these games, you've got games that get a like animated show or anime, and then it like brings an audience to like go back to the game.
That's what happening with League. I know.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they made it completely different to what the gameplay is. It's so different. Oh my god.
People were just like, because I think the person said they had a friend and they were just like, oh my gosh, I love Arcane. Like it's amazing. It's League of Legends like this. Like, no, let me stop you right there. Like,
no, just.
But I definitely think like it is as a like that's where it's really Fallout was the one that they were talking about because they said like Fallout
didn't like fell off.
Yeah, like
it did.
Yeah, the TV. Oh well, no, the TV show is like. Have you watched it?
No.
Okay, TV show definitely recommend. It's really good.
Okay.
Like my sister didn't know about the game. She watched it and was just like, oh damn, this is like. Because I think it gets the tone of the world really well.
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
there is only one point at the end where they do. Like, I think it's just Hollywood can't find a way to like de-age actors in a way that looks natural. But like,
wow.
But like,
spoilers.
Yeah, but yeah, it is good, and there is like twists throughout. Because what I like is you're not necessarily. It's not like I like how the show isn't just showing you like start to finish. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, so in the Fallout TV show, you're seeing like bits from certain characters' past as well as what's happening in the present. So sometimes you meet the characters and you're just like, how did they get here? And then you sort of learn a bit more and it's like developing. So then there's like a big twist at the end that you're just like, oh damn, like I didn't see this coming, or like you're just like, oh no, like, and if you if you know Fallout, you can see like where you already have an idea of where things are going. But I would say, especially if you just want to know a bit more about the Fallout world, it is a show that you don't have to be a fan of the games or like play the games to like truly understand it. But yeah, also a lot of people are surprised because there's a big twist.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. You okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. There's a big twist in the game that there's a big twist in the TV show that has a huge implication for like the game, like the whole universe, so both the games and the TV show, which I won't spoil, but like I would say it is really, as a TV show, it is really good to like. It's a fun TV show. It is really good, but I have heard the hype for Arcane. I know a lot of people said they're upset that they only had the 2 seasons.
I was one of them, but then I was just told there's more cities and worlds. So it's like maybe the story for Arcane is over, but doesn't mean the characters are gone. So
no, definitely.
So they're more upset that the characters are gone, but the characters are going to come back.
Nice. Oh, really cool.
Arcane is such a good. I binged that. I watched the first season when it came out, but when the second one came and some people started talking about spoilers, 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. the entire 2 series. Okay, the last episode I was falling asleep, so I stopped and watched it in the morning, the first thing in the morning. Yeah.
Okay.
So. I think I cried up one episode. So good.
Okay, check it out.
Oh man, what a show!
Okay.
And I think it cost 250 million. So
250 million.
250 million to animate.
But it makes sense because like you've got you've got a lot of big actors in it, but because like you got the girl who plays. The girl who plays Vi, she's the Spider-Gwen from...
Is she?
Across the Spider-Verse.
She's actually in...
Yeah, she plays Vi. And then the person who plays Jinx, she's the main character in Fallout.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen her, yeah.
And then, who else is in it? You know Abbott Elementary? What is it?
Have you finished watching it? I've got to watch the last episode.
I need to watch it, but I know it. But no, it is. I love Abbott. I feel like it's good. It's good.
It's a nice show. Then you must like Bob's Burgers.
I love Bob's Burgers.
You like it's very chill. Very chill.
Okay.
It's such a lovely show.
Okay.
And it's naturally funny.
Okay.
Without being weird.
Yeah, because there are a lot of shows.
Yeah, it's not like Family Guy weird. It's actually humorous.
Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you. Next question, or like next topic of discussion maybe. What has been, so obviously you love gaming. What's been your favourite moment in gaming? So this is sort of like a 2-parter. So one is a moment you have created in a game. So you mentioned that you play a lot of FPSs. Is there like a kill or like a round that you did where maybe you did like something amazing, you're just like, I can't believe I just did that. And then the other is a gaming moment that you experienced. So it could be, I don't know, like the first game that like, I don't know, there was a shocking twist. It could be like waiting for a game and then it came out and like there's a moment in the game that you were just like, this is the answers I've been waiting for. It could be a teaser for a future game. But yeah, a gaming moment that you've experienced, whether it's one you've created and one that you've like just witnessed.
Does it have to be FPS?
No, it can be anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
So recently I replayed. This game is so shocking, but Life is Strange. You played it?
Yeah.
You played it?
Yeah.
Oh my god! I played it twice, but I forgot how the ending was.
Yeah.
That made me cry. Like I cried as if I knew the person. That's a moment. Was it? You said moment and an experience. Yeah. So that is a moment where it really got to me. You know. Hold on.
No, that's fine. But no, I get that because it's like without again spoiling it for you guys. Yeah, it is awful.
Like, why did you have to do? And then I remember when I was younger, the first time I played it, I picked the easier way out. But then this time I was like, with everything that I've experienced and all the hardship and the annoyance, that I had to do the one that was heartbreaking.
It's tough.
It was so tough. It was so tough. So that's a moment for me.
Okay.
And an experience in the in gaming. So due to my long loyalty to the Apex Legends, I was flown out to watch the tournament in Germany.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
That was amazing. That was absolutely phenomenal. I would never ever forget that. What a night. What a week, actually. It was, yeah.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. I guess next topic of discussion. Let's talk about I guess bringing it to our previous discussions. So I know that you are friends at Melanin Gamers. But yeah, diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI within gaming, super important. You know, we discussed why it's important for there to be accurate representation of characters. But as someone who both works for, who works within the gaming sector, but as someone who also is a gamer as a consumer, why do you specifically think diversity, DEI, is important as a gamer?
As a gamer, it's because of what we experience in the games. So let's say FPS. Games that have representation of different cultures allow people to learn about other cultures when it's done correctly. When it's done correctly and not the stereotype way. In order to avoid this, you actually have to hire people of those background, not have someone that isn't of the background. You literally have to hire someone within that background so they can explain. So having people that have been accurately hired, been accurately represented, people that are not exposed to that, to all the population. Let's say someone in Japan, there aren't many black people there. So the whole stereotype of black people is the whole hip-hop thing. But the whole hip-hop thing, when really and truly, if they were to play a game like Apex, there's only one person, which is Newcastle, which is kind of like old school hip-hop. But the first ones that came out, the first black people that were there, they were just timid, not timid, but they were just girls that knew how to shoot, had accurate hairstyles, had accurate facial structure, and everything was accurate basically. So it wouldn't be a case where if they were to meet someone that was black, they wouldn't be too surprised, But then you've got the unrealistic ones, with the basketball that just give the unrealistic version of black people. So it's really important. It helps just in case sometimes, like I was saying, people don't have the opportunity to meet other cultures. So through gaming, you can have that chance to see how they might look and not be racist or rude or weird towards them.
No, definitely. And I think, I can't say the podcast is officially a big Xbox fan, but I can say myself and my brother are big Xbox fans. But
I mean, yeah, that's a good job. Yeah.
But I was even going to say, I really, like you were saying about, the connections that can be built, because I know Xbox did a video talking about, and even, I know other gaming companies do it as well, but, the international community of, people that have met through, I know for some people they met through, the multiplayer games on Halo, or they've met through just discussion boards, and they are good friends. Some of them, some people got married, and it's just like you said, the world, you get to meet so many people through being a gamer, and it's like you said, that accurate representation, because I know I guess sort of links to my next question on streaming, because I know, as you mentioned, you stream. At the end we will ask you for all the details if you want to find out about you.
Subscribe.
But even with the live streaming, I know as a black person myself, that's been one of when I do multiplayer games, one of the reasons why I haven't necessarily gone into live streaming is because, as you mentioned, there is that. But obviously, when I do stuff like this, it's pre-recorded, so I have some element of control over the content. But I think it's not necessarily I feel I will say anything wrong, but it's more of you're putting yourself out there. I know people that have live streamed or had a mic plugged in, they've done Call of Duty. The racial slurs start coming out. Even I know for women, the sexist slurs, the sexism, and all this stuff just pops out. Or even arguably, even when you're not like, you might not even have a mic, but I know, like, thankfully it's never happened to me, but, like, I know sometimes people, like, join and then they just say all kind of things. I know even from our previous guest, like Alan, he mentioned his experience with that, and it can become a very toxic place real quick. So as someone who streams, someone who plays FPSs, you know, you're not, like, I guess like me, you're not playing, well, I'm not saying you don't play the campaign, but, like, you do engage with the multiplayer elements of the game.
Yeah.
What would you say for someone who, like, wants to do that, but they might be similar to me? They might be a bit hesitant because they don't want to sort of, like, be confronted by those type of
advice.
Yeah.
I was gonna drag the racist. Advice. Okay, so what you can do is, you don't have to talk to people online. Some games you don't need to. It's advised if you do, because you know, team working and stuff. But you don't have to talk to people online. You can just keep playing without having your voice chat on, and just, if you do want to talk to people, you talk to people on Discord that you know, or your actual friends. But honestly, if you're gonna turn on that mic and you do get harassed or insulted, I don't want to say it's to be expected, because surprisingly, I played Marvel Rivals and I was called a racial slur. Out of nowhere, I was so baffled. It took me by surprise. I had no words. I just didn't really say anything. I was like, okay, cool. I'm throwing the game, and I quit. So, yeah. But I don't want to say you have to swallow it, but you need to know how to just not take it too personally, because the way the world is, you can't actually control everyone. It's wicked and it's selfish and horrible that it's been normalized. But just have to understand that sometimes there's not much you can do. You can report them, you know, but just being the biggest person and just understanding that whatever they say is not what you are. You are who you define that you are. Does that make sense? You are who you define. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was checking. Yeah, you know, like when they say to me, I'm like, okay, cool. Sometimes I throw a little cuss there here and there back to them, because, you know, but yeah, if you don't want to, you know what to do. Ignore, block, report, and just understand you are not what they say that you are. I mean, you are not what they say that you are. Only you define you. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go on to the next thing before we sort of get closer towards the end. But I think one thing I would like to touch on is, obviously I'd like to assume you got a passion for gaming, and you also obviously like working for a company that does gaming. So it's almost like you are part-time working on something that you're passionate about. So for someone who's watching and they're just like, I also want to find, like, it doesn't have to necessarily be within gaming, but it can be, because obviously we're a game podcast. But with someone who wants to find like that passion, like they want to do something that they're passionate about or that they like, but they also want to, you know, like get paid. How do they find that like middle area? So it's like they're doing work that they really love, they really find engaging, but then they're also working on stuff that can like build that eventually lead to, like, it's the link of like getting paid but also doing something you love.
Wait, I'm sorry, could you ask that?
No, that's right.
That's okay.
So with your work, you love gaming.
Yeah.
You also work with Microsoft.
Yeah.
So that for yourself, you've got that like middle area that you're doing something that you're passionate about, but you're also able to also work for a company that you're like, the work you're doing you actually like. For me, I work part-time on a program that supports black businesses. I've also got like my own passion of running a business as a black founder, so being able to like do work that I know is going to help people and also share my resources and like share my knowledge and like network with these people is like, for me, a great like middle area. So I guess my question is, there are people that feel like you can't have, like, your career and your passions can never interlink. So it's like, especially if you're like a young person, it's like, no, if you want to, I don't know, like if you're interested in gaming, you want to find out about a potential career in gaming, like that's something you can do once you've had like later on, like you've got to keep your passion and your career separate. So for someone who's been told that and they want to find a way to like merge the two, what advice would you give to them?
I think they need to take some reality into consideration because, like you and I, we both work part time. That's a blessing. You know, we both work part time, which gives us enough time to work on our craft. But honestly, finding the middle ground, you can definitely find a middle ground if you really want to. Of course, you work full time, you're going to be tired. I have a friend that works full time, but he works in the hotel. Like, he works like as a receptionist, but he does like dancing content, anime content, and like fashion content. He makes time for it. It's not easy. You just have to make time for it. If you want it to intertwine and link, you might have to just change your job and go toward a job that kind of allows you to use your skills that you are using in your passion into your professional space. So a job that values what's the skills? What did I say? Professional. Passion, that's it. Yeah. So finding a job that values your passion, values the skills that from your oh my Lord.
It's okay.
We go again, okay. Finding a job that values the skills that you get from your passion is one of the key things. That way, it's like you're killing two birds with one stone, and you don't have a huge plateau of skills that you have to continuously maintain. Once you have a job that values, like your job, I know your current job that you do here, it's valuable with what you do, like with your passion. Is that not so? Yeah. Exactly. So me doing the game in D&I is just great for me because it helps me work with public speaking. And that I can go and do public speaking for Comic-Con like I've done before, and I've been doing that now. So yeah, finding relations between the two and seeing what skills can be used for both is a great asset to have.
Oh, wonderful. Two more questions. So first one, it sort of links into the DEI thing, but it's more, I wouldn't say like fun, but it's more like an interesting question. Because obviously, do you know about the Killmonger? Yeah.
I made a presentation of that. Really? I made a presentation of that. Yeah, it was a very interesting presentation because Bates didn't know about that. Yes. Yeah, but what were you going to say?
We'll also have like a picture up here of like what I mean by that. But there is that argument that like every...
Someone put it in Ubisoft. That's like a Ubisoft.
It seems that like, especially with gaming, like... It seems that like every black character seems to have that hairstyle.
It's like one hairstyle on one head. That's like 3 different hairstyles on one head.
So I guess from like a DEI perspective, and it'll be interesting to know. Like you did a presentation on it. Let's say more about that. What's your opinion on it?
Do you know what? I am giving them grace. I'm giving them grace because a couple years ago, all we had was either an afro or a level 2 trim with no shaper. That's all we had. Now we've gotten a bit more advanced. Of course, they can definitely do better. Companies can always definitely do better, but we have to see how far we've come. You know, like before, representation for black people was awful. Now it's getting a lot better. And we need to remember we're not the only culture as well that is being underrepresented. So it will take some time, but things are happening. I'm giving them grace, of course. Now that there's been a whole controversy socially that we are aware that you keep doing the same hairstyle. Now, if they continue, then obviously they're going backward. But I feel like a lot of companies are going to use this to look at other hairstyles, you know? Like games like Baldur's Gate. How many black hairstyles are there? The hair even moves, don't it? Yeah, the afro's moving. I've seen it. Like, it's really good, you know? And that came out, last year, I think? Exactly. So, my opinion is I give them grace. They can definitely do better, but it is much better than what we used to get. What we used to get was awful.
Yes.
Awful. But give it a rest. That's like full shape up with locks and high, like a fade. Like, how many hairstyles on that one head? Gosh, but yeah.
Okay. And then my very final question to you is, I'm actually going to have to get this up on a laptop as well. 2025.
Oh, actually, so when I was doing a presentation, I actually gave them about 3 different, was it 3 or 4 different, I actually gave them a couple.
Okay.
I gave them Miles Morales. I gave them Bangalore. I also gave. I have a. Maybe I will have. I don't have access to my work stuff here. But I gave them a few pictures, and then they were shocked that they were all similar. You know, so I think these conversations need to be had not just amongst one culture, like amongst Black people, but having those conversations with people outside of the culture is definitely a step forward. You know, because we're only complaining amongst ourselves. We need to be complaining towards the companies.
Actually, I will talk about games coming out next year. But before we do that, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I know, especially also from a DI perspective, there was this whole like argument, like with it was mainly like Assassin's Creed Shadow.
My god!
The whole argument online of like, oh, you've got Yasuke, like they're pandering. Like people are saying, oh, they're pandering. They're just throwing DEI in here because they want to have like a Black guy in Asia, and it's just like people had to come out. And even Ubisoft have to put out a statement and be like, look, we're getting it from historical, like, this, he's a true person. What was also interesting was I saw a lot of content creators when discussing it were just like, so you're telling me a game where, like, there were, like, Greek gods, they could, like, there was all this kind of, like, Asgard, all of this, like, mystical elements you had no beef with. You had no issue with understanding this concept. But when it came to just, even arguably, if you were just like, oh, a Black samurai, you're just like, you couldn't get...
It's historically inaccurate. Shut up! Because even like people in Asia are also, they're cool with it. They are fine. So why are you... maybe you might... What am I hearing?
No.
Why are you, who isn't of that culture, crying about it?
And arguably, like we said, like people have said, like if you look, like it's not like he was plucked out of thin air and chucked in. He's a historical person who existed. There are like documents, paintings that show that this person was someone who existed, and like Assassin's Creed has always taken inspiration from history when creating its stories.
Exactly.
So yeah, I completely agree. I've said that like and literally that person summed it up so perfectly. It's like they have had elements of like mysticism and stuff that's way out of like that has been argued historically for not being accurate, and people didn't like raise up arms, they didn't say this, didn't say that. But you've got Black samurai, and they're just like, oh no, they're trying to like get rid of like East Asian culture, this and that, and it's like no, it's like this actually was someone that existed.
Did you hear about Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah, even
the women,
yeah.
the female lead, they lost their mind.
And I was just like.
Gosh.
Funny enough, that kind of doesn't... My next question was going to be about games coming out next year.
Do you even like games at this point? Do you actually like playing games? Or is it because you're concerned about race so much that you don't enjoy the game? Because I don't understand how someone being Black impacts the gameplay.
It doesn't. And it doesn't... And it shouldn't be like I can't play this game because of X or Y.
It's pathetic.
But yeah.
It's just horrible.
But yeah, looking to next year, obviously you've got so Ghost of Tsushima sequel, Ghost of Yotai, GTA 6, alleged, like it's not coming. They said 2025. I don't think it is. But I know a lot of people said basically because I think like people I watched talk about gaming, they said that a lot of companies are concerned because obviously they market it's going to come out next year.
That's insane.
Everyone knows that. Like,
they're so shocked.
Because they were just like, okay, GTA 5 like sold out. If we release a game around when GTA 6 comes out, no one's going to buy it because everyone's going to be like, I just want to get GTA 6. No. So even gaming companies are just... So apparently that people are saying, I think gaming companies are going to try and... Because I think GTA 5 came out around like September. So people are saying gaming companies want to avoid like September to November to release a game because they were just like, if GTA 6 does come out then, it's going to mean that like that period, like no one's going to be interested in any other game aside from GTA 6. And a lot of people were just like, you know, they're just like, are we going to get another trailer before the end of this year?
No, you guys don't deserve another trailer. I'm so sorry.
I don't think we will be. I think we are. I'm like, I'll be surprised if it comes out next year. I don't think it will. I think they'll push it to. I think it'll be 2026. But I also feel like it won't. Like we're not. I don't think we're going to get anything anytime soon. And I feel like it's just going to be one of those, like, just wait and see. I know some people are thinking, oh, like, video game awards are going to... I don't think they are, because they also know that they can bring, like, GTA 5 was the highest selling... What is it? It's like basically like across all mediums, so like TV, film, game, it sold the most like units. So like Rocksteady know like there's a reason why GTA Online always gets new content, because they know like if they just dropped a trailer today, they don't need to wait for the Video Game Awards to drop it. They can bring their own interest. Like within 24 hours, the trailer like broke the internet. Yeah, I think. But yeah, looking to next year. So I've got a list of like games.
Did you know that, like, you know, is it who owns Rocksteady?
Take-Two.
Take-Two.
Yeah.
Sorry, 2K.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the 2K studio, those that are working on, I can say this one, those that are working on like GTA 6 are completely separated from the other studios. Like, they're not allowed to talk. They're not allowed to talk. They have to sign like a waiver. It's strictly NDA only, you know. Very cool. And they've worked up because they got
hacks.
that was so upsetting.
I feel like, even like, I agree that like, I like that other gaming companies were showing, because obviously like footage got released and people were saying, oh, this is GTA 6, it looks whack. And people were just like, no, like early development of a game, or like when you see like early release footage, it clearly of a game, it's not finished. Like, let them cook. Give them a couple.
Right.
And then people were just like, oh no, if this is GTA 6, I'm not buying. I was like,
not buying then.
I was like, they didn't even. This was before the trailer came out. There was no information on what was like. Everyone was just hearing like rumors or like leaks.
Exactly.
And I was just like, why are you like saying like you're
it's
hitting
because
like
they don't like games.
They don't like games. That's it. A real gamer would wait for the game.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's true.
A real gamer would wait for the game and appreciate the game for what it is. You know, instead of rushing the company, fighting the artist, insulting the voice actors on Twitter. You people are so entitled. You're not real gamers.
No, that's
honestly,
true.
no.
And even arguably, like you said, like the voice actors. Like I know the person who, like we mentioned, like Last of Us 2, the person who played Abby, she got like hate mail and all of this. The person. Even the face model for Mary Jane for Marvel Spider-Man 2, she got flack because they were just like, oh, like
Horizon as well.
They beautified her or made her a realistic woman.
I don't know, man. To me personally, yeah, that could be a whole thing. But like, I'm just like, it doesn't make sense to me because I'm just like, even it's the same with like films, like or TV shows, like the actor, yes, everyone has an element to play, but like if you're upset with not necessarily how a game is, like a person is portrayed, but you're just like, oh, I don't like even arguably, sorry, there was one example with I've forgotten the film, the Mad Max film that like came out a couple of either this year or last year.
Yeah.
Like people were coming against one of the actors because the character was like really bad, and he had to do a post on Instagram and was just like, hey, look, like I'm gonna keep it real, like that's not me, those aren't my opinions. I'm playing a character. I'm acting. That's literally what I'm employed to do. So he was just like, please, can you stop saying like sending all this stuff to me? Because he was just like, that's not me. I was paid to do a job and I did the job. So yeah, to me, I guess like
Very self-entitled.
It's just it's a whole thing.
It's awful. That's so sad.
But yeah, looking on, I guess nice one. We've got a lot of games coming out. Some on the list, we have Avowed.
January.
Nah.
Ain't nothing going on in January.
We've got a few games. I'm trying to see if there's any big one.
Nothing that I like.
We've got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 in February.
Marvel Spider-Man? Is that going to be on PC?
Yeah, on PC.
Okay.
Yeah. Avowed. We've got remaster of Tomb Raiders 4 to 6.
Oh, yes! Angel of Darkness is getting a remake. Oh, I'm so happy.
We've got Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Lost Records is in February.
Yeah.
You know about Lost Records?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. I've got to keep up to date with games.
Yeah.
There's basically like a lot of stuff coming out this year. I remember we've said like possibly, we don't think it will be, but GTA. I'm trying to think if there's anything on the no date confirmed yet list. Doom: The Dark Ages.
I've never played Doom.
I've never played it, but like the combat is fun. Like I've seen it. It's just like.
Right, they in hell, right? Yeah, no. I'm sorry.
You see what I mean? Like, but I've seen like from the trailers. I'm just like it is pretty far. The Greedfall 2, Little Nightmares 3.
I can't wait for Little Nightmares.
Mafia: The Old Country. Oh yeah, how can I forget this? Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra, the one where you get to play as both Captain America and Black Panther, as well as there's a lot of games coming out. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I've missed. Oh, this I'm excited about. I'm terrified. I can never play a horror game to save my life.
I've played all of the Dark Pictures.
You didn't like any of them?
I liked them.
Oh, for you.
I just didn't finish the last one that came out when there's sort of Ashley Chill.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't finish that one. But my favorite is definitely between The Quarry or... Obviously, you can never beat the original Until Dawn, but The Quarry was good. That was good. I was like, what? Very good.
I have said, like, with the...
my bad.
No, I'm just going to, like, extend the room back in. Okay, let me quickly just add a bit more time so we don't get kicked out. But the thing that I liked about The Quarry, I told a friend of mine, he loved Until Dawn, and I was like, if you like Until Dawn, the reason why you like The Quarry is, like, one big thing. And I said, so with The Quarry, you don't actually have to play the full game. So obviously you can play the game, but yeah, you can actually, so there's like a cinema mode that they added that you basically you slot the scenario. So if you want everyone to survive, you can watch the game as if it's like...
And the game itself?
Yeah, it's a mode. And I was just I was like, this is the first game that I've ever heard like doing this as like a gaming mode. But yeah,
So you just say, I want everybody to live.
Yeah, you can be like, so once you've played the game, you can be like, oh, I had to make a choice between like going left or right. I'm going to go left, and it will just let you like sit down, watch it, because they said they wanted it to be like they understand that like for certain people, like playing a horror game, like making those quick decisions can be quite tense, but they said...
I actually end up cheating. I actually researched something. I was like, do I die if I do it? Yeah, it's really...
But yeah, they literally let you like put all the scenarios in, so you can make it that all the survivors survive, you can be like, none of the survivors survive, the survivors survive, and
What's your favourite?
Like in The Quarry?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a minute. What did I like?
I can never forget mine because I got them
No,
killed.
oh.
I'm so sad I got them killed by accident because I didn't know how to shoot because the game was rigged. Every time I shot, you get 3 chances to retake I took all of that for that one person to live and they died in the end because I kept missing my shot apparently.
Who's
you know, what's her name? Brenda Song.
Brenda Song's character.
She died at the door.
I would say I've forgotten what his name.
So upset.
I'm gonna have to look this up.
What, Tommy is like that?
No, you know he's the mixed race guy. I know he's British.
Him.
Yeah.
I thought it was corny.
You know
but then I understood what was going on. I thought he had a thing for the for the owner. He was like, he really was very loyal to the owner until he clocked the owner trying to kill him.
But I just feel like as a game, like I've forgotten what the company is, but like the way that they do their games is just like similar to like Telltale. But yes, it's not like every game is like linked, and even like you said with the Dark Pictures anthologies, there's not necessarily like a through link. But I just like that there is that like tension because you're like everyone really wants all their characters to survive. But I also liked with the Dark Pictures anthology. I know some people didn't necessarily like it, but I liked that it wasn't all like it wasn't like horror. So like it was horror in the sense of like maybe there were these like weird monsters and all of this stuff, but for like some of them, and I guess not to spoil, but like for some of them it was like psychological horror. So it wasn't actually these things were real, it was just in people's minds. One was there was like a particular like gas that was making people see things, like, and I was just like, that's actually like a really interesting twist.
That one, that's Man of Medan.
Yeah.
That one, I was okay, I clocked, I was like, okay, this gas is making me hallucinate. And then after I said that, it tricked me and I fell for it, and I killed one of the characters I didn't want to kill. No. I reset the game. That's even the same. I reset the game. I just go, bing. I turned the PlayStation off. So yeah, they're good. Those are fun games. I like decision-based games. Games like Detroit. That was a fun game.
Detroit is an amazing game.
Really like Detroit. What's another Trace game? You've got Life is Strange, and you've got.
Did you play the most recent Life is Strange?
Double Expansion.
Yeah.
Did you play it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's be real. Did you like it?
It was okay, but
that ending was ass.
I felt I was just like
the ending was.
I just felt like it does seem like this was supposed to be like a longer game, or like because I was just like you're just like they like without to spoil, you're just like a certain character's gonna return, and I was just like but you could. I was just like. They could have just like this could have been like rounded and like I think originally when I saw it I was just like
it was rushed.
Yeah.
The ending was rushed and short. The first 3 chapters were 2.5 to 3 hours. Last 2 together is 3 hours. 1 hour and 20 and 1 hour and 15.
And I was just like nah.
And half of it was talk. The last one half of it was talking.
And I was just like, oh no. And I think for me I was also just like it's like I know where, like, again, not to spoil, but like I know where it's going to go. Like the way that a game ends, you will see people from other games. Like,
can you beep this out though?
Yeah, So like,
beep from now. It's giving X-Men.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like I was, because I was just like, okay, so if all these like powered beings, like powered individuals are gonna like meet up, they're gonna like work. I was like, where is this going? Because I was like, it kind of feels like that.
Are these the X-Men? I was like, what's going on?
Because I was just like, it was nice that like, I liked how, similar to like Watch Dogs, like, I'm not Watch Dogs, sorry, Walking Dead, like, or Telltale, like, they're all individual like stories. So none of them were interlinked, and I was like, okay, it's cool. It's like, okay, they're all these different people. But then they were just like, oh yeah, you know, I forgot her name, but
Diamond, the black girl.
No, the Max's friend who dies and then.
Oh, we liked her. Her name is. I've got it.
You got it?
No, wait, I've got it. It's it starts with D, right? Okay, wait. You find this the beginning of the word. I know her name. What does it start with?
No, it's not a D. It's an S.
S. Oh, Safia.
Yeah.
Safia. We loved Safia.
But I
then
she
was moving mad.
Yeah. I did like I liked the twist that it wasn't like, oh, okay, like Max has to do the same thing she did in the first game, and they like.
Yeah, I was like, if I'm doing that again, you know what? Just take me. Just take us. We'll get it. We're not playing.
But I was just like, yeah, I think for me, I was just like, the way it ended, I was just like, it's not bad, but I was just like, where does this go? Because I was just like, are they good? Like you said, like, are they going to do their own like X-Men bit? And it's just like, oh, all of these guys are going to like fight together. And I was like, but who are they fighting? Because I was just like, ultimately, there wasn't...
Nobody even knows about you guys.
That's what I mean. There wasn't like a government organization.
You have a public enemy.
So I was just like, where is this?
Your enemy is yourself.
Where is this going? I was like, are they now going to make it that like we said, like X-Men, so Safi's going to be like Magneto? Is Max going to then be like Professor X? Are they going to then... And I was just like, because also, arguably, none of the characters from the 3 games, outside of the towns they were in, was just like, I want to go use my powers to like become a superhero and save the world. So I was just like, now she's like, I want to find all of us and like we're going to work together and do all this stuff. I was like, I'm not hating.
Yeah, there were loads of holes in that
But
story.
I was just like, yeah, no, unless you're going to say like, oh, there's, and this to me personally, I'll be annoyed with if it happens. No, okay. I was going to be like, this is going to annoy me if they turn around and they're just like, there's all these like, there's an underground group, there's been loads of powered people you just didn't know, and there's been this secret government organ. Like, I was just like, nah, if you didn't talk about them in the first 3 games that came out, and then the 4th game where you introduced this whole idea, I was like, if you're not going to talk about them, then please don't chuck this like, oh hey, there's this little what? I was like, nah, please, come on.
This game is very unfinished, and to be honest, because I played the first one and then I played this one right after, they feel like 2 completely different games.
And I just feel like
completely different games.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like I've always liked the story. Like I've liked Life is Strange because it's not just like a typical like like someone with powers and it's just like there's always like a mystery element that you're trying to solve something, which is really cool. But I think it's like what you said, like now I'm just like I don't even know if they're just like obviously they say like Max will return and I'm like great.
They just sacked a couple people as well.
Damn, really?
That's nine deck, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They sacked a few people.
So now I'm just like, so are you gonna do it that we're gonna get like a DLC and it's just gonna wrap up this up?
I don't even want no damn
I was just like, is this gonna be like
Don't do this to me.
I was like, is this gonna be like another fledged game? And I was just like, well, if it's another full-fledged game, I was like, who are you gonna play as? Are you gonna play as Max, or are you gonna play as all the other characters you played as? Are they gonna say it's one of those games where you switch between like each chapter's with a different person? I was like, I don't know. But
So I had a reason because when I finished it, I was like, this doesn't feel complete at all, you know, and maybe I was judging it too much. Somebody said they put all their budget in the first 3 episodes. they put everything in the 3 episodes. Damn. Well, we can only hope. I hope Lost Records is good. I look forward to it. Very excited. It's got the similar vibes.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we'll wrap it up there.
Okay.
It's been great speaking to you, Sheila, both about your professional training. But yeah, also all the gaming recommendations that you... Actually, I didn't even say... What's the game I didn't ask you the question. What's the game you're looking forward... What's the game you recommend, and what's the game you're looking forward to next year?
Next year, I'm looking forward to Lost Records, Little Nightmares, and what else did I scream about? That was really it, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, Lost Records and Little Nightmares are the games I'm looking forward to. Not too fussed about new games, actually. I really want to get into the games that I have missed over the years. That's why I really want to play. A game I recommend... Oh, wow.
That's okay.
For what audience? For what audience? I mean...
anyone who wants to get into gaming, maybe...
anyone wants to get into gaming? Damn. How can I be a gamer and not recommend the game? That's crazy.
If you want to do a top 3, you can do a top 3 if you want.
Okay. I mean... Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Tomb Raider, the Tomb Raider series. So you can start off from the new gen, which is Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadows of the Tomb Raiders, and then Tomb Raider itself. That's a good game to get into. That's great. And then the Assassin's Creed series is also a pretty good game to get into. Very long. I'll just stick them to. But really, Tomb Raider is a great game to get into, to start getting into gaming.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, I think I can slap on my recommendations and my game for next year.
I'll just get full.
I don't even know, you know. I don't think it's coming out next year, but
I don't care about GTA 6, you know, like that.
I'm not fussed either.
Hey.
Like I think it's also because I'm just like it's obvious. Like I think for me it's just one of those games where like it's gonna live to the hype. Like I think Rockstar know that there's no like they won't let it flop. There's a reason why like people said like there wasn't a lot of like online or like story added content for Red Dead 2. There wasn't any.
Oh, I need to play that actually.
Definitely, that's amazing. I've not finished that game, but I've heard people have said the ending made them cry.
Damn, another one.
It's
another cry. Oh, nice.
Apparently, it's like it's the growth of the character that you play as. So whether you play him as a good guy or a bad guy, you see like him grow over his life, and like the ending is it's sad. But yeah, I would say. Oh yeah, and also I was gonna say like they didn't release like it was rumored. I don't know if Rockstar confirmed it, but it was rumored that GTA 5 was going to get additional like story content, so they were going to do something with Trevor, all of this stuff. But then because of GTA Online, like just bringing like loads of people staying on it, buying stuff, like getting involved,
it's something that ain't broken.
Exactly, and that's why like they've just been like adding new stuff to online because they were just like this is going to work. So I think like you said, like I'm not concerned. I'm like Rockstar know if they don't feel confident to release it next year, they will delay it and have no issue with that.
And they should definitely never feel forced to delay, please. Please.
No, 100%, because I feel like, and I think out of like gamers like film watchers, because I know like I said, I'm a Marvel fan, so I know like sometimes Marvel fans, when our films or TV shows get delayed, we can be a bit aggressive. But like I think for me, we can
very disrespectful group of people.
We can get comic book fans, we can get annoyed when stuff gets delayed. But I think we like gamers are more. I think especially because someone said. I'll say this and then we'll wrap up. But like, I think someone said that they think that with gaming, because gaming is so open with the gaming development process, whereas with like filming, because they obviously like they don't want spoilers to come out, they don't necessarily give you like updates regularly on like, oh hey, well this film that's coming out in 2 years' time or next year, like this is what's happening. It's usually through like leaks or like press photos that like stuff gets revealed to people. But people were saying with like film, like with gaming, because gaming developers will be like, oh hey, like, you know, they'll do like developer like walkthroughs or talking about the game. Sometimes with games they go like with Baldur's Gate, it was in early access for like years. So there is that like bringing the gamers along the journey. So gamers will be like, oh yeah, like I understand why the game's been delayed for like another year because I've been involved with the process. With films, because you're not involved, you're like, well, why are they getting delayed? Or why are they doing reshoots? Like, I haven't seen anything.
Fair enough.
So yeah, there's that bit of concern. But yeah, actually, I'm looking at the list of games I've got here. I've got a shout out. As I mentioned, massive Marvel fan. So the Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra, where you get to play as, thing is, Captain America, I know for definite it's Captain America and
Bucky?
And no, not Bucky. He plays Black Panther, T'Challa's grandfather. So it's based during World War II. You go around, I think it's Paris, and you get to play as Captain America and Black Panther, and then you get to play as one of the, gotta butcher the name, but the Dura Milaje, which is like the Royal Guard, and then you play as I've forgotten the guy's name, but you play as like a someone who's a part of like Captain America's like soldier crew. So it's not Bucky, but someone who's in his crew. And yeah, you get to play a Zoful character in Paris. They haven't released any like gameplay, but they showed like the cinematics. It looks really good. I'm really excited for it. And also because you're playing as T'Challa's like grandfather, there's a lot of like, so you're not gonna have, he's gonna look a bit different, he's gonna play a bit different probably, but there's it looks really fun. But yeah, one that was announced, which I'm hoping we can get more information, is they released a trailer for that they're going to do a Blade game, and it's going to be by the same people that did like Arcane. Ooh. It's by Arcane Studios, but Arcane Studios made Dishonored, they did Deathloop, and I was like, that style of animation, it looks really great. I love Deathloop, and then through Deathloop, I got into Dishonored 1 and 2, and I was like, oh, this is really good. So yeah, I trust them as a studio to deliver. I think Blade, because there are similar like combat elements to like Blade and like some of the characters you play out in those games that I'm just like, I know they will deliver. But yeah, I don't think it's going to come out next year because they literally just announced it last year. If it does, great. If not, I'm not too fussed. But yeah, thank you very much, Sheila. It's been great speaking to you. No, you're very welcome. How can these guys how can these guys connect with you and watch future streams? If you've got any future streams you want to shout out,
I have a Christmas stream or something coming out for December.
Nice.
If you'd like to find me on my socials, my name is Brown Sugar Saga. Okay. Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Please follow, subscribe, or show some support. Thank you very much. I do Let's Plays, I do streams, I do short film content, I do vlogs, lifestyle vlogs and stuff.
Cool. And yeah, thank you to your wonderful audience. If you like this episode, like, comment, subscribe, always appreciated. Make sure you hit the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any of our other podcast episodes, gaming news, or gaming events. If you want to support Pick Up the Mic, check out our merch options. We are, I don't know if we're going to launch it next year, but we do have a t-shirt specifically for Pick Up the Controller. So we're just working on the design, but we should hopefully release that next year. So keep an eye on space if you want to get a nice t-shirt. And then yeah, finally, if you want to check out our other channels, so like our more professional development, personal development channel, the main Pick Up the Mic YouTube channel, if you want to check out our anime channel, Senseis of Anime, or if you want to check out Sci-Fi and Fantasy with the two Maesters, all of that is on the homepage for Pick Up the Controller, so you just scroll down and see all three channels there. Yeah, we're going to close end today's gaming session, and we will see you all next time. Yeah, we'll discuss gaming.